Final, the Brumbies starting with Makin, Manray, Smith, Butler, Enever, Dowsett, Coleman, Dargaville, Nigel Arwong, one of the top try scorers of the tournament, Aidan Tour. And Western Force, Erasmus, who's been one of the shining lights for them, Shemanan, Hoskins, Koteka, Onehunga Havili, Taylor, Michael Ruru, who's also been putting his case forward, Matuato, Masuki Thakau and Brad Lacey. Delighted to say joining us in co-commentary for this final is Chris Dutton, and the two teams just assembling on the field. Well, Chris, the Brumbies were runners-up in 2014. They will feel a sense of not so much retribution, but a sense that it should be their time, coming back to have a second crack.
Yeah, certainly. You talked to them through the week and it's been all about redemption. They remember losing that one in extra time against the Auckland Blues. I spoke to them just before. They actually went back to their hotel in between their last game and this one to get away from it a little bit, refresh a little bit, and reliably informed that the team manager, Sam Rolfe, has won 6 out of 6 tosses this week, so he's hoping that's for the win. For the 2016 World Club Tens. It's been a great weekend of competition. All of the teams have brought so much, and they've competed hard throughout. Just being held for a moment. I think the officials were just wondering if we had something else to worry about, but we're able to crack on with the rugby action. Of course, the two teams met earlier on in the competition. The Brumbies coming out on top of that one by 19 points to 10. And Chris, would you expect a similar result? I would think so, but the Western Force have gone from strength to strength over the weekend. Most people didn't expect them to do quite as well. They didn't bring over their strongest team. A bit of turmoil back in turf this week as well, with the Super Rugby coach Michael Foley being sacked. But these guys have really stepped up and they're going to take it to the Brumbies in this one.
Do you think that would have distracted them at all?
Probably not. They've got a lot of young guys in there who don't even have Super Rugby contracts, so it probably was maybe a little blip on the radar, but being over here in, what is it, rugby in paradise, probably good to get away.
Well, it certainly felt like that for many of us. Great experience being here. And Robbie Coleman gets us underway in the 2016 World Club Tens final in Mauritius between the Brumbies and the Force. It's there for Aidan Tour. Gets it away for Coleman. Dowsett up for Coleman again. James Dargaville, he's been one of the solid players for the Brumbies over the course of the 2 days. Brian Smith taking some of the physical back to the Force. There's Makin taking a few yards as well. Now that they've got a bit of width out here, Lisa Erasmus just having a drift across defensively, but he makes the tackle. Dowsett again. Tour with a little step to try and get through the gap, but couldn't quite do so on that occasion. Dargaville. Brumbies have just found themselves a little narrow once again. It's a good spell of possession for them, though, in this opening 90 seconds.
They're just trying to work their way into their game, aren't they? They haven't really gone too wide yet, just plenty of forward runs, and here we go with Aiden Tour out wide.
They managed to finally work him into a position, but it was a decent enough hit from Vasuki Thakau. 5 tries for Tour so far. He's also given 1 or 2 away, very charitably. Taylor looks to get this one in. He's under all sorts of pressure from Dowsett, but Taylor slips the tackle. Presents the ball. Oh, there's a little handling error at the back.
Jeez, he's unlucky there. It looked like Jared Butler had his hands all over it, knocking it loose. Could have been a penalty, could have been a knockdown against the Brumbies, but it turns out they're going to get the ball in fantastic attacking position.
The noise you can hear, incidentally, is the Italian All-Stars wandering around. The Sharks also, as you can see, having their photo taken. The crowds here hugely appreciative of this wonderful competition having been brought to their shores. They've come out in number to support it as well. It's been a great weekend. Dowsett gets it away quickly. Coleman coming in off the right wing, trying to find some room to put Dargaville through. The tackle was good enough from Matuato. And big collision as Enever tried to come through. Dowsett quick enough to get that away. Lovely ball round the back to find Coleman. Almost a surprise ball there for Enever. Not sure he wanted it. He's happy to go and support Dargaville to the ground though. Coleman looked to try and break around into the corner himself. Presents it back. They've got a bit more width on this left side. Rowan Smith isn't going to worry too much about a long missed pass. It's route 1 for him. Dowsett, little ball back inside. Man Ray takes another couple of yards but gets himself isolated. It's a penalty to the Force. And we're just going to have a momentary pause from Archie Sahelko. Just a little word on why, really.
I think it was Big Leslie Macon came charging into that one a little bit late, and Josh Manray there was isolated. And the Force players were right on that. Great defence from them. They didn't really show a chink in the armour at all. So they've got out of trouble early and looking good.
With finishers such as Tour and Dowsett as well, who's got 4 tries in the competition so far. The Brumbies have certainly got the ability to score the tries, but it was quite early on that the Force really seemed to be demonstrating their defensive capabilities, and that's going to be where this is a fascinating final.
Yeah, we talked about small margins, and in the Brumbies semi-final against the Sharks, it was a drop goal that won it, and defence could very well win this one.
Going back for the knock-on.
Just wonder how tired these guys are at the moment. As I said, the Brumbies got away from the stadium for a couple of hours, but you know, that's still half an hour on a bus there and back, and you just think after 6 games over the weekend, yeah, they're only 20 minutes each, but they're quite intense. So I think a bit of fatigue might come into it later, and maybe the game will open up in the second half. Well,
certainly expect that to be the case. It is a test of the fitness, test of the staying power and focus mentally as well. Taylor waits. Future Force and West Scarborough, the young 20-year-old scrum half. Well, it's ended up coming back on the Brumbies side, but no one was there to take it back, so Taylor will have it from whichever side it comes out. Now it's away with Ruru. And then Matuato. Ruru again. Feeds away to Kateka. Taylor's back in. Ruru. Oh, it was a juggle. Ollie Hoskins couldn't hold on to it. Turnover ball while it's a little loose. Dargaville gets rid of the first tackle. Eventually is brought down. Loose ball on the floor, and came off a force hand.
Quite unlucky there. Dargaville just got isolated again, and Aidan Tour and Michael Dowsett were just a little bit late in getting there. Gave the force that small window again, and they came through, disrupted the ball. It's just unfortunate they knocked it on. The Brumbies have another chance here again. Let's see if they can do something.
There's a real shove from the Brumbies on that one, but Dowsett didn't seem too interested in picking it up himself.
He'd gone missing. He went looking the other side for it.
5 on 5 and the scrums in 10s. Enough for there to be an enjoyable forwards battle for the big men. Tua. Sense that tackle might have been a little high. Coleman. Back for Man Ray. Stepping in off the left peg. Does well to get the little release out. Little dink through from Ruan Smith was not quite enough.
Talk about coach killers with your team on the attack, and you've got a front rower trying to rubber it through to another front rower.
It's still enough like sevens for them to believe they're sevens players, isn't it? Here go the force. Out to Vasuki Thakau. Shepherded nicely into touch by the Brumbies.
I can't pronounce his name, but he's actually been quite good for the force this weekend, hasn't he?
Eric Vasu, he told me he could just be called Vasu. I had a crack at Vasuki Thakau. He said, oh, all right then.
I can handle Vasu.
There you go. Eric Vasu. Played some rugby for Cottesloe. Normally a centre by trade. One down by an ever, but not straight.
It was definitely the right call there. It went straight to the middle of Blake Inover's belly. Gave the force absolutely no hope of competing for that one. Still 0-all after 8.5 minutes. It's been quite tight, and the game hasn't opened up yet.
Yeah, it's been physical enough, hasn't it? Neither side giving each other room, and perhaps a sign as well that as the sides play all weekend and get to know the game of tens, that it becomes more of a chess game at this stage of the competition, as you expect a final to be.
Let's see if the Brumbies are going to put on a big push here again. They got the force's number last time, but they've had a front row change there with Tom Staniforth coming on.
Force will know it's coming. Got to be careful the engage isn't too early. Shove does come on. Force started to break up. Oh, that's almost a lucky call for them. I think the referee has spotted a knock-on call.
I think he got a call from his touch judge there.
He got a call from his assistant. I'm not sure whether the assistant actually had given him that call. Either way, they're pressing ahead with it. Nothing to see here. Force will have another scrum. Either way, as if it's a reset. Gus Taylor. Got to get that in. Really strong shove. Manages to just about get it away, and then Ruru coming back down the short side. Was plucked out of the air by Anaver.
Almost a great steal from Jared Butler, but knocked it straight to the Western Force, and that could have been disaster for the Brumbies because had a big push in the scrum. Butler almost got the turnover, and the Force went to the blind side.
They go to the back to Anaver. Coleman. Well, they've absolutely humped that downfield with the hooter just having gone. Just given possession back to the Force, but Vasu says, I understand what you're trying to say, we all need a breather. And we go into the break scoreless. Pretty absorbing first half, opportunities for both sides, but the chess game nature of the forwards battle and the defences is really holding out so far. It's the Brumbies 0, Western Force 0 at half-time in the World Club 10's 2016 final.
Hey, one thing that's going well, that's where they're coming on, is our defence. Everyone is taking their own mean. We're in Command 1, that's the temper. So we stay up on our feet. That's going to fucking good. Lots of food. You're going to sharpen up. Doesn't know what number you're going to be back. You're going to walk that break in out, break out, and do so. Okay? What you see, watch the tag, the midfield, and you look for those opportunities. Built by to go on the back of it.
We got to adapt there. They're going to send yours in the ruck, so
Yeah.
we might have to send two in every time. They just think you're
Yeah. It's been really good. Yeah. It's been back. Let's go right away. Right away.
the right side of the field. Hey, Walton.
Ready for the second half to kick off. Interesting to note that some of the messages being said at half-time were about being patient and about waiting for the opportunities. If the pressure keeps on, then the points will come. Of course, earlier on over the weekend, it's been don't commit to the run, let's get the ball into space, run it hard. So, little interesting sign of how the coaches are viewing this.
Horrible start there from the Brumbies, just knocked out a play out of his hands after he takes it high, and you know, you're going to give the Force chances in this one. They're probably going to take them. They didn't have much ball in the first half, probably didn't even get into the Brumbies half, did they?
No, indeed. Many of the teams have struggled to get out of this portion of the field, given the breeze that's been heading its way down there. Has dropped at a couple of moments. The strength of the breeze over the course of the day. Another chance for the Brumbies to try and put pressure on the Force scrum. Force managed to stay down a little longer. Pressure on from Dowsett, but it's away to Ruru. He's on the looping run around. Oh, they do manage to get the ball out of the tackle, and that is the key moment for Force. That's the finish. And Brad Lacey goes in. And that was all about the offload out of the tackle.
Really good play from the Force here, but an easy ball and goes in untouched there. There was nothing Nathan Toole could do, or Robbie Coleman coming over in cover. Big kick coming up here. If they can get up by 7, it puts the heat right back on the Brumbies.
Ruru nails it. Brad Lacey, the try scorer. Force up by 7. The deadlock finally broken in the second half.
I wonder how strong that breeze is out there, and whether this is the end to go to.
That kick looks like it's carrying all the way. It is. Dowsett. Tap and go. Tua. He spotted a chance to just chip that one over the back, but Lacey's there. Oh, now was that forwards? It was. Referee right in line.
It was a tough one because he was running backwards as well, so it looked like it was probably forward, but it looked worse than what it was, I think.
I think the giveaway was that all of his teammates were stood in front of him.
That doesn't help, does it? How quickly a game can turn, hey?
Well, yeah, the Brumbies will be very pleased to be back up at this area of the field in a tight game with this amount of pressure. It is all about perhaps testing those back three, testing those defenders with those balls over the top and forcing them into these sorts of errors. The Brumbies are able to hold the Force. Now they have possession at the back. Dowsett gets it away. Coleman looks for the long pass. Trying to get Talioli through the gap. Tua in the scrum half. Force trying to turn it over. Oh, and they have done. That's really strong work from Riley Winter. Ruru to clear the lines. Looking to use that breeze and get downfield. It is a decent touch finder.
A lot like 15s, isn't it, the Force's approach to this one? They don't want to play the game in their own half. They're not willing to take risks, and there are some winners from the earlier games.
Amateur sides have enjoyed competition here today. We've had their presentations going on in between the top clubs competing. It's great to see them enjoying themselves. Brumbies needing to create the score then still. It's been eluding them so far. Darcy Talioli. Then Blake Enever punching it up. Penalty force.
Force are definitely winning the battle of the breakdown so far. They've managed to pinch a couple, win a couple of penalties as well. The Brumbies are just off in their connection a little bit, and it's giving the Force a chance to get out of trouble. They'll punch this one down into the Brumbies half and go and attack again. A lot of work ahead of the Brumbies if they want to get back in front.
Michael Ruru, the man who's been making a lot of it happen for the Force. There is an award of a rather nice-looking watch for the player of the tournament, and you've got to think that this man is in with a shout of that one. Ball goes over the top. Coleman. That wasn't too neat from the Force. Talioli, Coleman recognising no one was there, goes into play. Scrum half, but they then get scragged with Robbie Abel. Tua off to the left. The Force are holding a narrow position defensively, but they are going up with line speed altogether. It's causing the Brumbies a problem. Referee calling an offside.
Geez, unlucky there. They're really turning up the heat at the breakdown, and the Brumbies aren't handling it very well at all.
Coleman putting that one out. Doesn't get too many yards downfield, really. But he's happy enough to trust the Brumbies set piece to try and use some first phase ball.
Haven't seen much of Aidan Tua in attack for the Brumbies. He's been so good when a little bit of space, but not today.
Well, he's largely been having to play 9, hasn't he, during this one? Now Dowsett is there to do so. Here he is. Punched up by R1. Brumbies having to commit 4 or 5 men into the breakdown just to be sure of winning possession back. Such is the strength from some of the Force individuals. Through Tua onto Smith. Great body position from Ollie Hoskins. He's not got the turnover on that occasion. Coleman. Now a chance to release Talioli. Ruru in with the tackle. Good enough to stop his man, but that's good meters made. Not enough of an effort from Ruru to roll away from the tackle. Coleman looks to try and set it up himself, needs to get the offload away. Dowsett looks to try and use the width. Make it. Bowls one man out the way. Tua. Robbie Abel. Got to get someone on the shoulder if they can just get over the gain line here, the Brumbies. Sort of going wide and then getting themselves isolated. It's a huge collision. Taylor with the tackle. And it's loose for Tua again. Back to the 22 come the Brumbies. Abel, little half cell. Tua. Coleman just caught in the tackle, and it's just gone forward there. For all their endeavour, they just can't break through the Western Force wall.
That's what Brumbies coach Dan McKellar was talking about at half-time, just a little bit of patience. But it wasn't quite there from the Brumbies. They just needed to keep things rolling along and punch away at the Force defence.
Just got a player down on the near side, as you can see. Not quite sure who that is. Few running repairs needed. Eric Vasu. Some big collisions out there. Everybody putting it on the line.
Is your leg okay? Do you think you can sit down?
So Brumbies player Blake Enever there, good to see him up. He says his neck's okay. It's just a little bit of a sternum injury, I think.
Well, good to see Enver back to his feet. He's off the field. It'll be a loss for the Brumbies. He's done a fair amount of carrying and hitting into the ruck for them. It's a tight old final. The Brumbies, as we said earlier, 19-10 winners over the Force on day one. Force defence is working, and Dowsett seizing an opportunity to try and get the ball, but referee not happy with that.
Jeez, it's a fine line there, isn't it? It looked like it got kicked out straight into his hand, so whether he was in front of the ball or not, I'm not sure.
Tough one to call as a player. Ruru will have no problem sending the Brumbies back a good 30 yards. They'll maintain possession from the line out as well, or at least they'll aim to. Brumbies could do with a decent steal here if they could get it. Just comes down on the Force side, wasn't too clean. Ruru looking into that corner. There's a flyer coming along from the Force. Then there's a knock-on, I think. Yeah. For a moment I thought it was just about putting pressure on the Brumbies and kicking it into the corner, but it turned almost into a try-scoring opportunity.
That was a fantastic kick from Ruru. He ran out towards the left and then used the outside of his boots to put it back into the corner, and it caught the Brumbies off guard. You had big Josh Man-Ray chasing there. Aidan Toole was out of position. It's just lucky for the Brumbies that the Force knocked it on.
Well, it's last chance saloon from the Brumbies. If they get possession, they've got an awfully long way to go with it, and the Force will do their best to spoil it at this scrum. We're inside the last minute. Away from Dowsett, through Coleman. Long way to go. The foot race is now on. Chip back in field. No. Have they just given possession away? Oh no, the ball bounces up and it's in the hand of Tally Ali. Can they find the way to the line here, the Brumbies? It'll be late drama if they can, but the ball just knocked forward from Dowsett. Our clock shows time up. The hooter yet to go. The referee signals the scrum to the Force. Shake of the head from Dowsett. Goodness me.
That kick over the top there, I thought he bombed it. No, but the bounce of the ball here went straight back to the Brumbies. A couple of offloads and one to Michael Dowsett. He just couldn't bring it in. The hooter's just gone. It's going to be a big scrum here, but the Force will be ready for a massive push.
Big scrum. Force have just got to hold on to this. Referee asks for the ball to get in. Blow of the whistle. We are going to complete the scrum. Just going to have it reset. They're moving over a little bit as the turf begins to cut up. Brumbies were trying to get a shove on that. Tense moments on the touchlines. Misa Erasmus, he's been an absolute rock for the Western Force. Near side, Lucette prop. Oh, it's just continuing to build the tension now, isn't it, with every little reset.
Force might be playing at the dark arts here. They might try and win a short arm penalty and just put it out and win the game.
Tom Simpson in the middle, blinking the sweat out of his eyes. Can the Brumbies force a penalty at the scrum? They get a shove on, but it's back for the Force and cleared off the field by Michael Ruru. And given his contribution to the tournament and to his side's effort, it seems fitting that he's the man with the last act of the game. Then you can see what it means to Western Force. Smiles on faces of the Perth boys all round. It's victory for the Western Force. Dejected faces on the Brumbies. They came to try and get their name on the trophy, having missed out 2 years ago, but redemption wasn't going to be for them this time around. But a word on